There are some very wrong ways to use ChatGPT as a designer. Wrong as in losing your job or completely messing up the chances of getting one in the first place. In this video, I'll show you 5 things that you shouldn't do with ChatGPT as a designer if you want to have that job. Over-reliance on AI for some of these tasks can have really bad consequences for you. Ready? Let's go. This is a small part of my Future Designer in the World of AI mini course. ChatGPT can be very bad for real UX research. There are countless prompts for survey questions, customer journey maps, personas, and more out there. So what's the problem? Well, they can work just fine in a portfolio project if you completely understand what you're pasting in there. However, for a real project where the business is at stake, you can't really just copy and paste an average internet answer and hope for the best. ChatGPT uses data from posts and articles from all over the internet, so using it to generate survey questions for your specific product and your specific audience is just as good as pulling them out of the hat. You need to first understand the product, the business goals, and the users to know what questions to ask. Wasting your users' time on generic, average questions can lead to survey drop-off and bad design decisions. Let me repeat that again. AI doesn't understand your product and your users. And because of that lack of context, AI can give you either very generic or plain wrong suggestions on what to do in your design. So remember, critical thinking is key here. Now that is a good one. Number 2. Unedited content creation. Nothing says original and unique brand voice like a generic AI-generated content about you, right? Yeah, that can potentially kill a brand. Designers, especially in smaller companies, often also work on a lot of the copy and microcopy in the products. When working on landing pages, we as a company, 99% of the time end up using the content that we created as designers with just a little bit of tweaks from the client's marketing team. Which means that the content that we create stays, and if we used AI to write that content, then it wouldn't have that same impact as something completely original that comes from understanding the client needs and brand does. And as a business owner, if you can't passionately describe what your company is all about and what are the unique selling points and why people should choose you, then I believe that you have much deeper problems to take care of first before even thinking about using AI for anything. There's also this other thing. Some people rely on AI so much that they don't even think about what they copy, and many people copy the regenerate response link alongside the generated content and add it to their websites. That is next level lazy, but it also shows a little bit how people are approaching AI right now, and yeah, it is a bit mindless. Sure, you can get some inspiration from it, but some is the keyword here. Don't just copy and paste whatever AI generates for actual real content. Number 3. Interface design. Sure, you can ask ChatGPT for some flows or some design patterns or what typically is on a dashboard screen. But every product is a little bit different, so averaging what the internet says about it won't really help your product stand out in any way. As a designer, make sure you fully understand what the goals of the product are, both from the business perspective and the user's perspective, and try to meet those goals hopefully from both sides in the middle. But instead of asking ChatGPT how to do it, try asking your users and your stakeholders, because they know a lot better what this product does than any AI that's just using averages from other products and never even heard of yours. That way, you'll get responses that are tailored to your specific product, and that is always better. ChatGPT also can't really iterate or refine a design. So anything that's a little bit out of the ordinary about your product is going to be skipped in favor of the average stuff. And those average results are going to be generated in a very linear fashion. Design, however, is often non-linear, so that approach basically crosses out a lot of potential paths to experiment and to push the product into new directions. Also, AI tools are generative, but they're not really creative, so they won't really help you by finding your unique brand style in terms of the visuals. They won't push any good new design trend ideas your way. They'll just recreate what the average designer on the internet does, and you have no idea how good the average designer on the internet really is. Number 4. Measuring success. Every product is different and has a different way to measure how successful it is. That comes from different target markets, different niches, different categories, different public perception, marketing budget, and a lot of other sometimes pretty surprising factors. You need to be sure that the key performance indicators or KPIs are very specific to the product you're designing. You don't want to use the average KPIs because every product has a different definition of what success is for them. For example, you can't improve a beach yoga app by using a KPI set from a case study by Uber. These are two completely different projects, even if they both have a booking functionality. Because you can't control the sources here, it's really a bad idea to measure success that way. Number 5. Niche industries and innovative products. That should be pretty obvious. If you're making something completely new and unique, then AI doesn't have any data on it yet because, well, obviously it doesn't exist. In case of ChatGPT, it only works with the content up until 2021, which means that it doesn't even cover most of the other AI tools that are on the market that has been created since then. And in fast-growing, innovative industries, being a year behind means that many of the data points and most of that information can be either not relevant at all or plain wrong. So you need to be smart about it. Don't just get some prompts from somebody and then copy and paste their output into the relevant boxes in your project. That is not going to solve any problems. You can use it to help you with your portfolio projects, but in that case, always make sure that you understand what you copied and pasted. Especially if you're looking for a job, somebody might ask you about that case study, and if you don't understand what AI generated for you and why, then, well, it's gonna be a huge red flag for them. However, for real projects, there are areas where using AI can be plain dangerous for both the business bottom line and your position at the company. Relying too heavily on ChatGPT for UX design may discourage critical thinking and human-centered design processes. You have to remember that AI is a tool. It's not a replacement for human creativity, empathy, and a will to experiment and try things that might not even make any sense. AI is also not really all-knowing. It's using what other people written in the past, and sometimes they are proven wrong too. AI also can make mistakes, and used recklessly without critical thinking, it can do you more harm than good. Do you have any other examples on what ChatGPT is not that great for when it comes to UX design? Let me know in the comments down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and obviously, have a beautiful day!